has just launched the 2021 Countryman in India. Now this one made its global debut in May 2020 and it sports some subtle changes to the exterior, some changes to the interior and a longer features list. What we are going to do is spend some time with it and find out all that is new. The 2021 Countryman has been reworked on the sketchboard and now gets some mild changes to the exterior design that make it look a little more muscular. The front grille has been given an update and now gets more subtle chrome accents. The bumper has been redesigned as well. While the outgoing model was a bit squarish around the edges, this MY21 Countryman's front bumper is a bit more curvier. Not much has changed in the refreshed Countryman in its side profile. Around the back too, there hasn't been a substantial change in the design. Much like the new Minis, the 2021 Countryman also gets the Union Jack tail lamps and the rear bumper has been given a mild update with more prominent rear fog lamps. The tailgate is unchanged from before. On the inside, the 2021 Countryman remains largely unchanged. The overall layout of the dashboard is the same. It still gets a circular unit in the center, which houses a touchscreen infotainment, the vertically stacked aircon vents, the circular doorknobs, the toggle switches in the center, as well as the circular aircon controls are all the same. There are a few changes, however, like the gear lever is shorter now, which makes it feel a little more sportier, and the bigger change, of course, is the all-digital instrument cluster. It replaces the old analog unit and it is quite crisp to look at. In terms of features as well, the Countryman has a lot more to offer. The front seats are electrically adjustable. You get a wireless Apple CarPlay system as well. You get head-up display, automatic tailgate, and a lot more. These quilted leather seats are not only good to look at but are amply comfortable as well. For the front driver and the passenger, you get a little bit of an extension for improved under-thigh support as well. The Countryman is quite a large car and it shows on the inside as well. As you can see, with the front seats set as per my driving position, I have more than sufficient leg, knee and foot room. The under-thigh support, however, could have been a little better. Seating 3 abreast at the back is going to be a tight squeeze and the third passenger in the center will have to struggle for room. In fact, it won't be the most comfortable, especially given the contours on the seat in the center as well as the large transmission tunnel. You do, however, get aircon vents for the rear seat passengers as well as USB Type-C ports. The boot space is quite big as well, and you can increase the boot space by moving the rear bench fore or aft. You can also adjust the seat back a little bit. Although this is a little bit of an upright position, if you move it all the way back, it gives you a nice and comfortable position to sit in. In terms of quality and fit and finish, the Countryman leaves very little to complain about. The upholstery and everything reeks of premiumness, although there is this hard plastic on the bottom of the door pads, which is a little bit disappointing, especially considering the price of the car. While in the international market, the Countryman is offered with a range of engine options, here in India, Mini only offers it with a 2-liter turbocharged petrol motor. It makes about 189 bhp and 280 Nm. Considering that the Countryman tips the scale at over 1500 kg, it gets a power to weight ratio of roughly about 120 bhp per ton. Now those numbers may not say a lot, but in terms of the driving feel, the Mini Countryman feels quite involving. The torque kicks in lower into the rev range and it feels quite strong in the mid-range too. The linearity in the power delivery is something that really grows on you. Sure, it isn't as fast as some of the smaller Minis, the weight surely does not go unnoticed, but it does have the typically Mini character. Mini claims that this Countryman can do the 0 to 100 dash in 7.5 seconds. That's just a wee bit slower than the BMW X1 that sports the same engine. Although in terms of outright acceleration, it is not unequaled, it feels a lot more engaging to drive than some of the other SUVs in this price range. A lot of that character is also to do with the fact that it handles beautifully. Despite it being a front-wheel drive configuration, it is filled to the brim with that innate Mini DNA. The wider front track ensures that it remains sure-footed, and there is a heft to the steering wheel that adds to the involving drive experience. Plus, the firm suspension setup makes it an absolute hoot to drive. Thankfully, it is even damped well to even out most surface undulations. The only fly in the ointment is the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. While it is fairly smooth, it does feel a bit slow to downshift, especially in comparison to the 7-speed DSG that we have experienced in the Audi Q2 and other Volkswagen Group cars. In fact, this could very much be the factor that holds it back from delivering a better acceleration time too. Things don't improve a whole lot when you use the pedals either. The only saving grace is that you can correct the lag by downshifting a split second sooner than required. And finally, the price. Mini has launched the Countryman at a starting price of 39.50 lakh for the Cooper S, and the Cooper S JCW inspired iteration that we have on test here is priced at 43.40 lakh. The price is a little steep, especially when you consider that it is locally produced in India. Plus, there's also the larger and more powerful 330i that can be had at a similar price point. Both these aspects may repel some of the buyers from the Countryman, but for those who remain will buy the Countryman for the badge on the bonnet. The Countryman then is not for the hard-minded, but for those who live a life beyond reason. It offers the practicality of a crossover and the dominant persona of a Mini, and with that in mind, it is unthreatened by anything in its price range.